Stephanie Reed with Stephanie Reed Real Estate, and you are watching The Voices and Views, where we celebrate the people and places that make our area wonderful. Today we're going to be talking about the new Argyros Performing Arts Center, and we are here at the Limelight Hotel right across the street with Tim Mott, who is the Vice Chair of the Board, and also with Douglas Rankin, who is the Executive Director. Thanks so much for joining me, you two.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to jump in because there's lots to talk about. So let's start off with talking about the history of the project.
So the property started out as a Jeep dealership in the, I think it was in the 1950s, and in the right around 1990 it was acquired, and on a pretty much a shoestring budget was turned into a little community theater and rep theater company. And was operated that way for about 10 years. The property was then put up for sale, and a group of us found out about that, thought that the location was a fantastically strategic location. It's right as you come into town. It's on Main Street. It's 2 blocks from the middle of town, and in addition had sort of found its way into the hearts and minds of the community as a place for performing arts. So we mounted a fundraising effort to purchase the property, and more importantly, or as importantly, put it in a local nonprofit. So the location, the property itself, has been owned by a local nonprofit for the last I don't know, 16 or 18 years. Nothing really was done after that purchase, although all along we had in mind that there would be, at some point in the future, there'd be an opportunity to create a world-class performing arts center, which is something that you'll find in communities like ours, but isn't something that existed here at all. Said nothing was done for a number of years, and then about 3 years ago we got energized around realizing that vision for a world-class performing arts center, and started doing research into exactly what that would mean. We spent a lot of time engaging different groups in the community, talking about what they would like to see, what they thought would fit here. We started work with the local architect to get some basic concepts done for the building itself. We retained the services of a theater design company in San Francisco, and started working with them as to what could be, what could be achieved with the kind of space we had. So that effort started about 3 years ago. And about 2.5 years ago, we felt like we'd done sufficient research to be convinced that the concept was viable, not just the designs we had for the building, but the budget and the kind of capital campaign that it would require. So that was about 2.5 years ago. About a little over 2 years ago, we secured the initial funding commitments we needed.
Brilliant. All right, so I would love to talk about the state-of-the-art and technologically advanced features that the Argyros is going to have.
Okay, we'll do that.
Bring it on.
I mentioned earlier that we did a lot of research, and one of the things we found from the research that we did was that we needed a venue that was very flexible and highly configurable. We're a relatively small community. We can't support dedicated theaters for dance and for music and for drama, and let alone a dedicated event space. So we designed and architected a space that will in fact support all the different performing arts genres, as well as provide for events. And we're very fortunate in that the way in which people think about theater design and the way in which people think about equipping theaters now, and the kind of equipment and systems are available really enable that. So we don't have a fixed stage, for instance. The stage is made up of modular blocks and can be any size and anywhere in the theater that we want it to be. We have a device called a tension grid, which hangs from the ceiling. All the technology sits above the grid, so it gives a very clean look to the space. But it's also a device that things can be hung from, so we can hang draperies in different configurations and create the illusion of different room sizes or different stage setups.
So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about how the Argyros is going to provide more culture and economically be a positive impact on the Whitfield Valley.
Well, there's several tracks, programming-wise, we'll be pursuing. First of all, the community's been blessed with great activity. Whether it's the Sun Valley Summer Symphony, whether it's Sun Valley Center for the Arts, Laughing Stock, Company of Fools, The Spot, and it goes on and on and on. So our intent is to build upon that tradition and hope that, and we do hope that the Argyros will provide the opportunity for groups already working here to elevate their work, provide them opportunities that they haven't had before, and use them to their best advantage. Already, for instance, the Summer Symphony is doing what they're calling a Winter Festival, which will be this uniquely designed, call it chamber music production. And it will be unlike anything that's been seen here before. It'll be on a flat floor with sofas and ottomans and chairs, and musicians will be in different parts of the room. So it'll be very sort of San Francisco,
right,
to my mind.
It seems like the schedule is pretty full.
It's getting there. We have already scheduled through August this year 80 performances and 109 usage days. So for a community of the scale, that's pretty impressive.
Substantial.
The Argyros itself has started to book a series of visiting artists, national and international. So you'll see jazz, you'll see Broadway, you'll see contemporary dance of the highest caliber, you'll see classical music of the highest caliber.
Very diverse.
Yeah, diverse, multi-generational, I think is the buzzword.
The new word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so we have that track, and then thirdly, we expect the premises to be used extensively by commercial organizations, whether it's this hotel needing a larger banquet space or whatever. Yeah, I mean, we have a goal, besides cultural and creative, a goal of adding economic value to the community. When we're employing, we have employees, we're engaging artists, and we believe will bring people from outside the valley and the community, contributing to the revenue stream.
I got to show you this. This is just a preview. We turned on the sound system for the very first time the other night, and I mean, you got to make an allowance for the fact that this is coming off of a phone, but check this out.
That is amazing.
That is Lincoln Center quality sound.
It is, and it's amazing how big it is inside. It's deceiving. It's so funny when this was going up to think that this could be in that little lot. We were like, how is it going to be? But it is.
Now you see.
Yes, it's wonderful. And the seating and, great. Pretty lucky. Thank you for joining us at the Voices and Views. This is Stephanie Reed with Stephanie Reed Real Estate, and have a wonderful day.